Recording in progress.
Hi,
Hello,
welcome to week number 5.
week 5. Let's go. We made it.
We made it. We made it past our first month. To all
Oh,
you haters out there who thought
we
we
did it.
wouldn't do it. We did it. We're here.
We're here.
We're here. It's been a whirlwind of a week.
Mm-hmm.
What happened this week? I feel
Oh
like
my
all the weeks
goodness.
kind of start blurring together, and then we try to do these, and we're like, remind me what day to what day and what happened then. And
So we've been in Orlando, Florida for the 2 weeks.
2 weeks, which is
Yeah.
wild because it feels like we've been here for 2 days.
Yes.
But during that 2 weeks, we actually had to fly back to Nashville
Mm-hmm.
and take care of some stuff there. What did we have to do there?
Yeah, we had our truck title. We had to get a new truck to pull the fifth wheel, what we're living in. And so we were back in Minnesota, and with us having residency in Tennessee, we needed to get it titled in Tennessee and get plates in Tennessee, and it's just not easy. So we had to be in person to pick up our plates. Otherwise, they ship it to your house, and then it's a whole ordeal. So we had to do that, and also the same thing with the RV or the fifth wheel. It has license plates, and so we need to get the title switched over to our name and do all that fun stuff.
Mhm.
And then we had some exciting news while we were home.
Well, we didn't really have exciting news while we were home.
Well, okay, true. But my wife is
Oh.
now a resident of Tennessee, and she's got her driver's
So
license.
y'all, if you know me at all, you know that I've
Been a
been
journey.
going through this immigration process for almost 2 years, and it has been the most difficult thing ever. Like
Yeah.
trying to get a bank account. Can't do that without a driver's license. Oh, can't get a driver's license without a security number. Can't get a social security number without this. And like it's been
It's been a
crazy.
journey.
Like it's crazy even now, like to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't get a credit card because I have no credit in this country, but I have amazing credit back home.
Yeah.
It's like everything feels like a catch-22. Like yeah, it's been such an interesting journey. It like literally sometimes feels like I'm 16 years old
Mm-hmm.
all over again and having to like restart my life, which is so hard at the age of 34 when you've like been accomplished in Canada and like had great credit and like had bank accounts and had a business and like had all the things. And then like you come to a new country and they're like, yep, you have none of that. And it actually takes forever to get that. So that's been interesting. But then, I'm always like brought back to reality because when we were doing our Savannah event, someone had been going through that for 7 years.
Yeah.
So I can't complain about 2 years. I know there's people who have done it for awfully longer, but I honestly don't know how because I was ready to toss in the towel and head back to Canada
Mm.
because it's just been one thing after another, many breakdowns, many cry outs to God being like, what is happening? Why does this feel so painful and so much like a struggle and so many limitations? But the good news is January 5th I actually got my social security number.
Yeah.
And then found out shortly after that I could get my driver's license. And so we had to go flip the rental property, one of our rental properties over
Mm-hmm.
for new tenants anyways. So I was like, well, let's just hop on a flight together and get this all just squared away, taken care of. And it was a crazy 48 hours, literally 48 hours, got in, picked up the rental car, went to the driver service center, which we spent 2.5 hours in.
Yeah.
Then had to, then
Crazy.
we're starving. We're so hungry. We had to drop off the dog because we were
Mm-hmm.
able to get in the rental in our property after one.
Yeah.
Dropped off the dog, went and got the titles, found out we couldn't get the titles because of some whole ordeal.
Yeah.
Then we had to come back to the house and clean everything, do all the laundry, which in a 4-bedroom home, like it's a lot of laundry. I mean,
Yeah, you don't realize it.
it just takes so long. Like every
Yeah.
load's at least an hour, and then it has to
Mhm.
dry, and like it's just we were doing laundry for like a day and a half,
It felt like it, yeah.
and like towels and bedding and like all the things. So
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely felt like just a lot of cleaning, and then obviously with rentals, never are left how you want them to be.
Yeah.
They're like,
Talk to them about that.
I'm the type of person that I would never leave a place worse off than I found
Mm,
it. Ever. That's just me. I'm like, I always leave things better than I found them. I'd never go into an Airbnb and like make it disgusting and expect
mhm.
other people to clean up after me. Like, I
Yeah.
would just never do that. That's just not a part of my DNA. That's not who I am. That's just not how I was raised. Like, we're called to be a good steward of all things. And I
Hmm.
feel like that I'm like that's not the majority of people. That's
Yeah.
like the minority. And that's crazy to me that like, we rented it out to one family not too long ago, and like we came back and there was like barbecue everywhere, barbecue sauce
Yeah.
on the couches, barbecue sauce on all the cupboards, like all the handles were sticky. How do you allow
Yeah.
how do you live like that? I don't get
Yeah.
it. And like this time we had a construction company in there and we found like throw up on the walls, and there was a hole in the wall, and there was
Mm,
a shopping cart in our garage, and everything in the kitchen was sticky and
mm,
oily and disgusting, and like it felt like dishes just were never cleaned.
yeah.
And I was like, how do people live like this? Honestly, I don't get it. And both of us are very clean.
Hmm.
Sure, sometimes things get messy. I'm looking around us right now and it's not the cleanest because it's just been a day,
Yeah.
but it's not dirty. Like, I think there's a difference between having a little bit of mess and like being dirty. And
Mm,
I just don't know how people live like that, or how people like treat other people's property like that.
yeah.
And you like have those sayings of like, people rent a car and they actually like drive it into the ground because like it's not theirs. It's like, why would you want
Yeah.
to do that? Like, I never understood that. Like, no, we're called to be a good steward of all things that God
Hmm.
gives us, or and even if it's not ours, like, I think back to even when I came to the US and someone gave me a vehicle to drive for 6 months.
Yeah.
I cleaned that thing weekly. Why? Because it wasn't mine,
Hmm.
because I was called to be a good steward of it. Someone was lending me something, and like I was being blessed by that, and I was going to take care of it. I washed it, I washed the inside of it. I made sure like to get oil changes when it needed, and like I never let that thing ever get worse than I found it. Like, I returned it better than I found it. And
Amen.
that's just like I just believe that we're called to do that as
Hmm.
Christians. Like, we're called to be a faithful steward of all that God gives us. And if it's not ours, it means that God's giving it to us to borrow, to He's lending it to us. And so yeah, it's super interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it's hard to walk through that, and because you have to understand that not everybody is you or us, that and that's really difficult because you do put so much effort and you care about the things that God has blessed you with, and you want to take care of them, and we do. And so when you come home to something that hasn't been taken care of, it's like it's off-putting, but you also have to remember, kind of where you are, like the position you're renting a property. And
Yeah.
so it's like it's a kind of a catch 22. But yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing that's been a little challenging.
Yeah, I think having rental properties is like people never take care of your stuff as well as you will.
Hmm.
And that's been noticeable. I mean, we went home for 48 hours and we're able to like clean, patch up the hole, repaint the walls, like do everything to make sure that the new tenants were getting a property that was like really well taken
Yeah.
care of. And um yeah, so it's just interesting. Yeah, that part of yeah, having people live in
Yeah.
your homes. But it is what it is. It's like no one is gonna take care of your stuff like you will.
Mhm.
Unless you're like me, who,
Yeah.
leaves things better than I found them.
But I think that's such a good lesson in life, whether you're a Christian or not. Like, if you're blessed with something, if you just let it run into the ground and you try to resell it, you're not going to get anything for it because like you're not taking care of it. And I think that's one thing my dad always said. Like, when you buy a property or you buy a home, like, take care of it and make sure, or even like you said with the vehicle, like, do the oil changes because it's the longevity. It lasts if you actually take care of it. Like, like God has blessed you with this thing,
Mhm.
so take care of it, whether it's your marriage, whether it's anything that you've been blessed with, because nothing that we have is ours. It's truly a
Yeah.
blessing. And so,
But I think the Bible is so clear on it. When you are faithful with the little,
yeah,
he will give you much, and it's like, how do you expect God to bless you and
yeah,
pour out in abundance and overflow if
yeah,
you can't take care of like
mm,
what you already have or what he's placed in front of you? Like for me, a big thing is like I always think of like when I read the Bible, it's like God is a father. Like if a father was, and I heard a preacher once say like, if your dad say lent you the car to drive and you just like got it filthy, you left it on E, like you didn't take care of it, and then you've returned it back to him, how much do you think he's going to be likely to like let you borrow that again?
yeah,
Whereas like if someone lends you something, you take really good care of it, fill it up,
mhm,
car, if we're talking car, fill it up, return it,
yeah,
so that they don't have to go fill up their own tank. Like how much more likely is that person going to be
yeah,
like, yeah, of course I'll lend you whatever you need because I know that I'm actually going to get it better than I found it, and so I don't have to even think about it, I don't have to worry about it. And so yeah, I think of like God the same way, of like he is a father. Like
mm,
he's not like, if we're not taking care of things, like is he just going to constantly just give us
mhm,
new things and new blessings? Or like when we take care of things, then it's like, well, now we're faithful with the little things he's provided. And so he's going to be faithful for even more. And yeah, so I always make it a point in my life of like, if someone is being generous, if I'm able to use something, like
mhm,
I will make sure I take care of it. I mean, I even think of like last year when I moved in with my roommate, like I was always trying to like make the place better and like fix things that she may not know how to fix, or make sure my room was clean, even though like it's my personal space. But at the end of the
mhm,
day, it was her house. She owned it. Like I want to come in and be a good steward and make sure that I'm yeah, not just yeah. Yeah, I just think there's common
yeah,
sense, but
yeah,
not
it's
for this.
not,
Okay, anyways, enough of my
yeah,
tangent because we don't have that much time today because I have a meeting in like 35 minutes. But
yeah,
um, this week was hubby's birthday,
yeah,
and where'd we
man,
go?
we went to
Disney World.
Disney. Man, okay, so I gotta give the people an update on Disney. So, first off, I have the most incredible wife ever. I mean,
Oh
like
shucks.
we oh, shucks. We were in Nashville and she orchestrated birthday cakes for me out of nowhere. Like I'm telling you that it's not easy to surprise someone, to orchestrate something when you're literally with the person 24/7. Like we are
Yeah.
with each other every day, like our phones, like if you had to take a phone call, I'd be like, "Oh, why are you going to take that phone call?" Not that we like do that because we're always an open book for one another, but
But when
it's
you're trying to pull off surprises, it's
yeah.
so not easy
Yeah.
when you're living in a box and you're always together. And
Yeah.
like, I'm like, it's his birthday. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna do this?
So yeah, it's the season that we're in, she still found a way, and I was just overwhelmed with joy and love. We got to see some good friends of ours, and yeah, just really enjoy while in the midst of everything that we just talked about that we went to Nashville for. We got to see two sets of friends, or once a couple friends, and then some other friends the next night. So we got to see a lot of people while we were home,
Yeah, it was
and
like one of those things. I'm like, well, you still gotta eat. Like, we still gotta eat
yeah.
regardless. So we might as well just like go eat with people we want to see. Because I think that's the hardest part about being on the road. It's like you can't just call up your friends and like go for lunch or go for
Yeah.
dinner or invite them over or like see them. So as much as we have each other, like it does get lonely. And so if we have the opportunity to go home and like see people we love, like let's make it happen.
Yeah. So she surprised me with birthday cakes, and they were amazing. We have some balloons. She got me some a Mickey Mouse balloon, and got me a very special card. And then we went to Disney World, and it just happened to fall where we were at in Orlando here, on my birthday. And so it was super funny. Like the night before we bought the tickets, because we just, with weather and everything, we just
Well,
wanted to
I
make
think we
sure.
also were on a flight the day
Yeah,
before, and if anything were happen, like
true.
Disney is not
They're
like
not gonna refund you.
they don't refund you. So we're like, we're
Yeah,
not booking this until last minute
yeah.
because if something happens with the flight, and like a lot of flights have been canceled lately because of weather and
Mhm.
stuff. So yeah, just didn't want to chance it.
So I talked to this gentleman for probably a half an hour, and he told me all about Disney and all about the rides and all about all the things. And it was super funny, but it was
That guy was
he
like
was
hyped on
hyped on
Disney.
Disney.
It's so funny.
And so we went and spent the whole day, and yeah, it was amazing. I like my biggest thing is I thought Disney was like Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and
He
Goofy
really
and
just
like
wanted to hang out with
I wanted
Mickey
to
and
go
Minnie.
see all the characters and like go give them a hug and take pictures with my wife
Well,
with all the
that's what you
characters.
see on all the like
Yeah.
advertising. It's like people hugging Disney,
Yeah.
like Mickey or Minnie, or
Yeah.
like the princesses, and like that wasn't it at all.
You
It
have to wait in line for
for like an
50
hour.
minutes to see Ariel or so we got to meet Mickey Mouse, but we had
For
to
about
wait in
like five
line
minutes.
and otherwise there's no characters. It's just a theme park. So I would say that yes, it was an amazing experience. It was really cool. The fireworks, oh my.
They were
I'm
amazing.
telling you, this fireworks show, we had to line up at like
Seven.
yeah, an hour before like the fireworks actually started, and it was incredible the way they light up the castle. And I'm not gonna give away anything in case y'all are gonna go
I
to
mean,
Disney
just
World.
go look at my Instagram. You'll see a
Oh yeah,
video.
true. But it was really cool. So yeah, such a great weekend. Felt very loved. Thank you for all the messages that I'm not on social media, but for all those that did say well wishes, thank you so much. And yeah, it's been a great time here in Florida.
Yeah, it's been a wild. But yeah, tomorrow we go to Miami.
Miami.
And it'll be actually a really chill week, which is
Yeah.
nice. I think it's so needed. We've just been really busy, and I feel like I'm really tired. And so I think having like kind of a chill week in Miami, like our event, we were supposed to do an event, but we just didn't have much interest, so we ended up
Hmm.
canceling it. And it's probably God's way of saying it's time to
Yeah.
rest. And so we'll probably go have a beach day or something chill, depending on the
Yeah.
weather. And just really take this week, other than tomorrow when we're driving, to just yeah, be chill and not really do too much diesels hacking over there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it'll be much needed. I think that's one thing on this journey is like finding balance because like there are like I don't know, it's just really like we have businesses and we have like I'm working every day and you're working every day and it's like it feels at like times where it's like, "Oh my goodness, like how are we so busy when it doesn't feel like we have a lot like going on, but in the like but we do have a lot going on." So yeah, it's just very like interesting to navigate. And I think we're learning that is like when do you take a rest
yeah.
day and when do you like
Well, I think it's really interesting because the first couple weeks didn't really feel very busy. Like,
no.
when we were in like Nashville, and then we went to Charlotte, and then we went to South Carolina, like it kind of felt really chill. And like
Yeah.
we had a lot of evenings in where we are cooking and just playing games, and like, and then all of a sudden it got really busy with obviously the hub and everything we're doing there.
Mhm.
And then meetups, and then his birthday, and then heading back to Nashville. And so I don't think like living, because again, it's not like we can go and make plans with people.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's gonna be that busy then, overall, but I think it's really knowing when, yeah, like you said, when to take that rest time, and like not just schedule ourselves like running ragged all the
Yeah.
time. Which I think is going to be just key and crucial,
Yeah.
as we're moving so much, especially in March. We're moving a lot.
Yeah.
We're somewhere new kind of every couple days, and we
Mhm.
actually are flying to California for a wedding too. And so I think February will be quite chill, which is great, and then March will be quite busy because we're moving a lot, and then yeah, April will be a lot more chill
Sure.
too. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping kind of like, January was chill,
Yeah.
February's a little busy, you know. So yeah. So or January's busy, February be a little slow, March is busy, April
Yeah.
slow. I'm hoping that kind of continues as a pattern, because I think it's so easy. It can be so easy to get worn out when you're always moving, always in new places, wanting to see all the things, still building up a business,
Yeah.
like having rental properties, like just there's a lot, going through immigration, like a lot of just appointments and stuff that we've
Yeah.
had to like to figure out. It's been a lot.
But God is good.
That is so good.
This, like, honestly, there's no way that we could do this without the grace of God.
No, no
Like,
way.
yeah, like, I even think about, like, renovating this thing in 3 weeks and just, like, seeing his hand throughout this whole process, like, the renters that we just got, like, literally, which is just such a testament of, like, walk in faith and move forward and keep moving forward believing, and, like, we went back to Nashville and
Yeah,
it,
so
like,
like if you would have heard our story before we started this journey, we listed our place in August
yeah.
because we were flexible. Like after we got married, we're like, hey, we can leave at any time. We don't really care. We
Mhm.
don't really have anything that's like keeping us stuck there. And so, um, Diesel, are you okay? You choking? Sorry. Sorry, guys. Just realities
Yeah.
of life on the
Yeah,
road.
live on the road.
But yeah, even if you heard our story before, so we listed our place in August. We kind of listed it for October 1st, knowing like we were flexible, but obviously my parents were coming in for the wedding, his parents were coming in for the wedding, so we needed our home in order for that to happen. And then, um, yeah, we didn't hear anything. We literally had 0 requests in for the property, and we're like, okay, like, and then I truly felt on my spirit that we had to prepare to not come back to Nashville. We were going back to Minnesota for a couple weeks, for his parents were throwing us a wedding party. So I
Mhm.
was like, we need to just pack all of our personal belongings because I have a feeling we're not coming back to Nashville like once we leave. And that was just so strong on me. And so we just started like selling things, getting rid of things, preparing the house to be rented, like getting all of our personal belongings out. We fit all our personal belongings in the truck, getting the place really clean, and like we
Mhm.
hired cleaners to come in, and yeah, so we really wanted to just prepare for the place to be rented, and like we
Yeah.
didn't hear anything, and then we literally the day we left, the
Mhm.
day we drove back to Minnesota, we got a call from a construction company, and the next day they signed a lease.
Yeah.
And I was like, praise God. Like, and then so they signed a lease for 3 months. So that was until um a
January
couple days
31st.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, and again, we basically had the place listed the whole time because we knew when they would be out. And we just said, okay, God, like whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
And so, we didn't even have to go back to clean the place at that day because we didn't have
Yeah.
renters secured. So
Right.
we could have waited. But I said, no, we need to get back there and clean because we need to walk in that faith. We need to
Mhm.
prepare that it's already happening,
Yeah.
because, it's so easy to just not prepare until after you see it come to pass.
Yeah.
But literally the day we landed in Nashville, we got a call and someone signed a contract the next day for the next 7
7 months.
months.
Yeah.
So it's like this is the key, is like walking in faith. Like
Mm.
I think so often we like celebrate and walk in faith after we see something come to pass, rather than like faith is like walking without seeing, not
Mhm.
walking after you've already seen. And so yeah, just word of encouragement. And I've spoke about this a lot
Yeah.
recently, just about preparing. Like if you desire something, if you're like believing for something to come to pass, like don't
Yeah.
wait until you see it come to pass to start preparing for it. Like start preparing for it now.
Yeah.
um and that's just how we've lived our life, and like this what we're gonna continue
Continue.
to do,
Yeah.
is just prepare in faith for something before we see the outcome,
Mhm.
before we see what actually happens. And if it doesn't happen, well, it wasn't
Yeah.
God's will. But at the end of the day, at least we've done our part.
Yeah.
Like I think faith is like doing our own part. It's not just sitting and waiting like, okay, God,
Mhm.
I believe, I have faith for it. It's like, yeah, that's great, but like what can you be doing right now to walk in faith for
Yeah.
that to come to pass? I think like God wants people to participate with him in faith, not just sit around like with idle hands doing
Yeah.
nothing. waiting for something to come to pass. So yeah, that's a lesson we've definitely been learning over the past few months.
Yeah, control what you can control,
Yeah,
and that's what you do, and you let him do everything else that we can't do.
totally.
Love it. All
Well,
right,
that's our week.
week 5.
Week 5. Tune in next week for week number 6. We'll be in Miami.
Miami, Florida.
Can't wait to see you guys.
Okay,
Hopefully
see.
we'll get to do it live depending on our
Yeah,
internet.
yeah.
Oh my
We're gonna
goodness.
have internet.
In Jesus' name.
Believe in it.
All right, guys. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.
Bye.